30-minute reviews, Beware of Spoilers, and Exploring Hyperspace Lanes are all available ad-free. But if you want to support the show, you can go to bewareofspoilers.com and click the support button that's available on the Spotify website. Thank you. Good morning, and welcome to Beware of Spoilers. I am Adam. Sorry for the millennial pause there. I was looking in a mirror. So, The Bad Batch, Season 3, Episode 4. A little tired today. I watched it last night, and overall, I would say I enjoyed the episode. I think that it's another one of these episodes we're seeing a lot of with this kind of... But at the same time, I kind of feel like, enough, we get it. Like, it's this thing where we're exploring the banality of evil, like... Which is cool that we're actually exploring the idea that evil is not just the worst examples of humanity. Evil is also the little shit that we have, like the using your position of authority to, for personal profit, and all of that. And what we're seeing here is the results of the effort to have willing conscripts instead of the what do I look for here? Instead of the there's a word I was looking for. Instead of the clone army. This is the so now we have and it's all according to plan. Where the plan is, look, clones are not going to go and commit atrocities just for the sake of committing atrocities. Like, we know that if we have people who want to sign up, like, they will go, and the people who want to use this for their personal gain will get in, and they'll just be able to do whatever they want. They'll be able to control the local systems and keep people in line. And it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, and this is how you end up with corruption, and how corruption ends up destroying the government that it is, no matter if it's good or evil. Like, the idea that like, this entire system in this thing happens because it's like, look, we are going to we're going to make sure that they're kind of running themselves. They have their people who are from the Empire, but by and large they're still going to be dealing with this, they're going to be dealing with locals, and this idea that, like, oh, so this guy's going to come in and he's the local imperial kind of sheriff, is like, oh, so I saw the ship kind of, crash, and I wanted to make sure that everyone, and we're trying to see, what's going on. Oh, you're gambling. All right, let me get in on this. All right, you won. All right, well, you gotta pay a fine now for gambling, but I'll take my cut. If you pay it to me directly, then we won't, we won't really stink over this. It's the kind of thing where it's like, it all plays so well, and leads into the idea of, oh, so now they're going to, this is what the Empire has become this quickly. And it's become the Empire that we're familiar with, and it's only been a few years, if that. And it's an interesting look at kind of like, oh, well, if we let the worst of the worst become law enforcement, then what does that do for everyone else? And that's kind of where this episode takes us. I like the dynamic between Omega and Crosshair. I think it works very well for what they're trying to do here. I do think that Omega has gotten less annoying. She used to annoy me like in season 1, but she's gotten less annoying since then. And now she's kind of become a character with motivations and all that. And I'm like, alright, cool, she's doing stuff. So the fact that we now have the team back together, minus the departed, is interesting. And I do think my original prediction for what this season will stand. This is a funeral march for this team. by the end of the show, if everyone's all three that are still here are still alive, plus Omega, that's a disappointment. I'm looking for the slow, like, that's the thing. Like, I'm gonna go to the Hunger Games for a minute, because if you've read Catching Fire, not watched, because the movie doesn't do a great job of this, the book Catching Fire is so well done. Because the first book is the horrors of the arena from the perspective of, oh, these are kids killing kids. But from the minute they announce what the Court of Quell is, and they announce who the tributes are, and we get to the tribute center in the Capitol, and we're starting to see what's going on in all of this, the book evolves from being just another Hunger Games to, this is a funeral march. This is a bunch of people who thought that they would be able to live the rest of their lives in peace, realizing that presumably all but one of them is going to be dead, unless they can figure out a way out of this. And it is one of those things where it is so well done in the book, because there is no sense of adventure. There is no sense of like, okay, like, we're doing this for the right, we're doing, there's no sense of fun, there's no sense of anything like that. Not that there was in the first one, but you don't even get the sense of, like, I'm in this to stay alive. Everyone in that book is kind of resigned to their own death. And it's just kind of like, well, this is it. The movie doesn't do it as well, but the book does it very well. And I think that's kind of what this is going to end up being, where it's like, all of these guys are going to end up dead by the end of this show. I presumably that doesn't end up happening. Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on where you are. And there's going to be a resignation to it. There's going to be a resignation to, and we've talked about it before, this idea of what does a warrior do when there's no war left to fight. In this case, they just continue to find conflicts to involve themselves in, go out there and try to, they go out there and try to find stuff to help and try to find ways to help out. And I wonder if the question's going to be, is this futile? Is there a futility to this? Because either we go somewhere where they don't want our help, they're happy with the Empire, or do we go somewhere and it's just like, look, we do something and it helps, and it doesn't do that much to help. It's like, that's why, like, last season, one of the best episodes, oh, god damn it, I totally forgot about last season being last year, when I was doing the year in review, because the Bad Batch is probably up there because of the 2 episodes with the conscripted army and the Emperor, and the idea of the, what's it called? The other one with the, what's it called? The other one with the episode with Crosshair. Like, that was one of the strongest episodes of any of the animated stuff I've ever seen. Anyway, moving on. The point I'm trying to make is, like, they're going to get to a point where they either die in the line of duty, or it's just kind of this thing where it's like, I don't know what to do. I mean, they're going to die in the line of duty, I feel like. That's got to be where all these characters end off, because we don't hear about them ever again. So, what else is there to do? I think there's a grand sacrifice to save Omega, and get Omega somewhere where she will not, be in the way of, or in the line of fire. But that'll be the end of it. It's interesting to see how that plays out. I'm still curious as to where Star Wars animation goes from here, because I don't think that it's just Tales of the Jedi. I think there's another show coming. I just don't know what it is. And I'd be interested to see what kind of show they come up with. Like, maybe they do a High Republic show. Like, I don't think it's likely, because I don't think... I have this feeling about Filoni, that Filoni holds the original trilogy in high regard. Anything that's not the original trilogy, he's kind of like, fuck it. Or or like the prequels too. He'll work around the prequels. But if it's not something he enjoys or a character he likes, it's not going to be there. Like, there's a reason why Kyle Katarn is still not canon. There's a reason why Mara Jade is still not canon. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with whether or not Dave Filoni likes the character. I think to an extent there's also this idea of, could it be a similar situation to Arrow? Where, we talked about this with Arrow, where it's like DC was charging licensing fees to Warner, to the CW to use the characters. So you end up with a situation where it's like, oh, well, we're going to kill off, Black Canary, so you don't have to pay that licensing fee anymore to use Laurel Lance. And it's one of those things where it's like, oh, that's neat. Like, that, well, not neat, that sucks. Like, and we're going to make Felicity this character that no one's heard of because it's like the grandmother of Firestorm. We're going to use her instead, so because it's cheaper, and then she just becomes this giant thing. And I feel like that's kind of where we are on this. I feel like that's kind of what space we occupy, and it's a shame. Could that be where we are with this, where it's like, and again, no licensing fees right now. I don't think Lucasfilm is charging a licensing fee to the animation side to be like, here are the characters you can't use. I think it's just it could be something where Filoni gets a royalty on the characters he created, which is why we see so many characters he created keep showing up. Like, if that's the case, then it's questionable. Are we telling stories for the right reasons? But I could also be talking out of my ass on that. I am talking out of my ass on that. I don't know if that's the case at all. But yeah, I mean, I think this is as good a place as any to wrap up. So we'll be back later today with Drive Away Dolls. Tomorrow, we gotta have something tomorrow, I feel like. I don't know what it was, though. I gotta look around. Either way, we're gonna have Drive Away Dolls tonight. Saturday, Peter and I will be getting together to talk Dune Part 2, now that we've both seen it. I will have seen it twice by that point, because it's on Friday night. I'm going to see it again. Sunday, we'll be talking about The Zone of Interest. You know what? Maybe tonight what I'll do is I'll watch Maestro, and we'll do Maestro tomorrow to round out all the Best Picture nominees. Yeah. Because I have there's a week until the Oscars, or a little over a week until the Oscars. I like to see all the movies, or as many of the movies as I possibly can. And this is one of the worst years for it, because I include the shorts, and my theater didn't hold the shorts category this year, which is why we didn't have an episode about it. If you noticed, last year we did the ranking shorts, and we did not do that this year. And that's because it wasn't there. What I might do is here are the shorts that are available on streaming, and we'll go through those. Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, notwithstanding that we already did that. But the rest we'll do, we'll do it that way. Great that Wes Anderson got nominated for an Oscar this year, and he may win. But we'll see. So, until our next episode, have a great rest of your